All right, welcome guys back to another video on the best solar channel on the planet. This video, we're going to be talking about growing your agency by solving your client's number one problem. And I know some of you might be thinking it's probably lead generation. No, if you have an agency, you should already know how to do that through whatever means you use to generate your clients' leads. Could be TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, what have you. Most agencies are deploying the Facebook route because it's the easiest, right, and most predictable, in my opinion. So there's no pretty much there's no wrong answers. It doesn't matter if you crack the TikTok code and you can generate your clients leads at a reasonable price point, then that's never going to be the issue. Now, once you have once you have clients and you're getting them leads, they're getting results, whatever, the issue doesn't stop. The problems don't stop. Now they're going to be saying, well, these clients are not answering the phones, or the pickup rates are really low. And so, usually, and I'm going to tell you this from experience, there's always two types of clients. The first type is the type of clients that really don't need to be babies. They don't need to be babysat, right? You don't have to babysit them. You don't have to explain what to do. They've already had experience with other marketing channels or handling online lead generation. They're winners, okay? Any lead that comes through the pipe, they're like sharks. They try to tear it apart, right? And they don't leave any leads that to fall through the cracks because they know, hey, every single lead that I do not speak with or I do not attempt to get on the phone with, I am leaving money on the table, which is the truth. That's the reality. Now, these people usually tend to do extremely well. And like I said, even though we have a dialing protocol that we want our clients to follow, they don't even need that. They it's just they take that and whatever it's new for them, they deploy it. If not, they just continue to run they continue to follow up, they continue to work the leads exactly the same way they've been doing it. Exactly the same campaign now is presented to another client, and that client is always complaining about answer rates, always saying when people are not answering the phone, the pickup rates are low, we need more leads. It's never really their problem. It's always pointing the finger outward. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: the struggle and your problems as an agency will always be not the lead, not being able to generate leads for your clients. I mean, if that's your issue, then I mean, I don't know, like why are you even in business, right? It's not that hard to generate leads for our solar clients or whatever, even if it's another industry. So, anyways, so again, two types of people. Now, the opportunity that you have here is humongous because if you manage to solve their problem, you basically become indispensable. You have to understand this. The most clients do not have a lead generation problem. They already hired you for that. But you're only doing this side of this portion of the business, which is I'm gonna get the leads, and it's up to you or your team to handle all the lead flow according to how leads should be dialed. Now let me say this as well. A lot of agencies do not teach their clients how to actually handle these leads. And so they don't know any better. Just because you're working with a sales organization or somebody that is selling for a living, do not expect him to know or understand or have even a remote understanding of what an actual dialing protocol they need to follow in order to win in this game. Because most of them don't. 9 times out of 10, they have no idea what they're doing. So I'm telling you this. They think they have a lead generation problem. They don't. The problem is never generating leads. It is always getting people on the phone. But because they don't like to point fingers inwards, the finger's always sticking out. and the first person to blame or the first company to blame, it is always you as an agency. So let's talk about how to fix how to fix that problem, which is actually it's not a small problem. So when you run ads, let's just say that your ads are very congruent with what people are offering, right? You have a clear offer, you have urgency in the ad, and it's outcome based. Okay, let's say your ad is good enough to generate a lead at a reasonable price point. Okay, from that point on, you need to make sure, and this is you, right? This is you for sure. You need to have a multi-channel automation. You need to have SMS, you need to have voicemail drops, and you need to have email. And you do not, and basically you don't rely on your client's team because usually they drop the ball. All right? That's inevitable. Like I told you, there's two types of clients. Some of your clients are going to be winners, some of your clients are going to be losers. And that's just naturally how the tendency is among agency clients. There's always those two types of clients. You just cannot escape. But when you get more and more experience, you just tend to understand that, hey, based on how people are communicating back, you already know what category they fall under. And so you don't even have to, but if you're new to the game, you're like, oh man, like, because we always take we always take accountability for what we're doing, even if it's not entirely our fault. The way I operate is I would always want to take the blame. But the thing is, you're only 50% of the process. In order for the whole machine to work, the client needs to be doing their part also, right? Number 3 is the speed to lead, right? By the way, I do want to say this. I do have a video talking about the exact dialing protocol. If you type in my name or go to my channel and search, I have a video on this, the exact dialing protocol they need to follow, your clients, in order to have the best answer rates and in order to have the best possible results with the leads that you've generated for them so far. But number 3 is speed to lead. This is your client, right? If the lead isn't contacted, this is true with multiple, doesn't matter if it's solar or any other niche, but it's very, very crucial with solar because leads are filling out multiple forms online. Just because they filled out your client's form and they submitted a form through your ad, it doesn't mean that they're not submitting other ads with other people. And so if the lead is not contacted within 2 minutes, nobody reaches out to the lead within 2 minutes, the chances of ever getting a hold of that individual drop significantly. I heard something like 400% or something. Insane. It's actually insane the level of which it actually affects the whole entire campaign if you don't call fast enough. Usually clients will always tell you that they call fast, but often they're not. And the reason why they're not is because they lie to you. Believe it or not, clients tend to lie, right? And that is why you can introduce something called mystery shop calls, right? That's why you introduce something called a mystery shop calls. I actually want to say something. This video was inspired by, I'm always looking for ideas on what you guys need and what you need help with. Anyways, I actually had a personal client of mine, agency client, that reached out to me and said, hey, bro, this is the issue. He actually sent me a Loom video. I saw the different campaigns, different clients, whatever. Again, same thing. One client's winning, one client's complaining, which is how I preface this entire video. I'm always going to be looking out for those two types of clients because I already know this. They only two types of clients, right? And so it was exactly the same situation. And I told him to do mystery shop calls. These are extremely important. I'm going to tell you this. I paid somebody, another agency. So I was in the role of the client. That was, I believe, last year. No, actually in 2023. It took him a while. It took him about 6 months to put together the entire build out. But it was, anyway, not to get into a detail, but it was a high level agency. Not in solar, in complete something else, right? I was essentially going to promote my low ticket to high ticket funnel, whatever. They had a dialing protocol for me. They were very diligent and actually made sure that I followed everything to a T. And how did they make sure of that? Dude, they put fake leads into the system and they tracked how fast we called them. And then when we didn't call them, they called us out. They'd be like, yo, like, what's going on? You guys want to do well? Because you spend not a chump change here, and you're wanting to do well. We want you to do well, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. And but first, what they actually told me is they asked me, how many times do you call the lead? And I tell them, and then they come up with the actual proof. Hey, bro, we submitted a form here. This is how many times you guys called. This is what happened, so on and so forth. And I was speechless because I've actually done this to my clients in the past. And I'm like, oh my God, I got played. And it's true. I'm going to tell you this. It is human nature to assume that we're doing better than we are. So it doesn't make me a liar if I inflate my numbers, and not just because I want to not take responsibility and be accountable for what's going on, but I really thought we were calling the leads. And then, but I'm going to tell you this, when I got called out, so that's actually happened to me. I've been on the other side, so I know how that feels, but I genuinely want to win. And actually, I did not hold any grudge, or I wasn't pissed off at the company. Actually, I was like, wow, like that's crazy, because the level of detail they're willing to go to in order to ensure that the campaign succeeds is crazy. Like they actually care about me winning, because if I win, I'm going to keep paying them money. I'm going to keep spending money. That's how they make their money, right? Listen, 9 times out of 10, clients do not call fast enough and don't follow up consistently. They drop the ball too easily and too soon. And even if they swear they do, they don't. The best way to do that, if you want to do things at a high level, doesn't matter what your client is spending, make sure you drop a fake lead in there every week so that you're prepared before they even start complaining. Because it is very inferior type position to be in the situation where your clients are saying, hey, leads are not answering, pickup rates are low, this and that, and then you don't have an answer. And all of a sudden, you're going to waste time try to investigate why it is that they're not getting results. If you do the mystery shop calls, you would have already known the reason why. So you got to do this with every single client. They're not going to hate you, guaranteed. They're going to actually love you for it, because you're that much invested into their campaign and making sure that actually their campaign is successful. Now, transitioning into having an actual AI calling system. The best thing to offer people is something. That's why back in the day, the reason why I used to have a call center is because we used to generate the leads, but like I was saying, the answer rates, the booking rates, and everything else like that for certain type of clientele, and it actually happens to be, this is what I forgot to tell you, the type 2 is more common than type 1. Just like there's more losers in life than there are winners, it is the same thing here. There are more clients that are prone to bitch regarding a campaign. There are clients that that are gonna praise you for it, or even take accountability for what's going on. That's just natural. That's just life. Okay. So I'm going to tell you this: in order to have an indispensable service, you have to be willing to offer them something that now their entire business is dependent on, which is either a call center. And trust me, the most stressful part about running the agency was always actually training, managing, all the appointment setters on the team that we weren't actually making any money on. It was just a value add so that we kept the clients for longer. But now we have AI. And with the AI, what we can do is we can actually do that without spending all the time training reps, hiring reps, doing QA calls, managing all the reps, motivating the reps, and so on and so forth. We don't have to do that because AI does everything. We've already done the groundwork. Okay. So I'm going to tell you how this is going to change the game for you, because if you're an agency and you're now offering this, you're definitely going to be obsolete. I can tell you right now that if you're not selling this into a high ticket offer, it will be extremely difficult for you, if not impossible, to scale your agency. It's going to be very, very difficult. So if you already have clients that you're running ads for, congratulations. But you need to make sure that into the future, you become indispensable for the business that acquired you to run ads for them. Okay. So that way, when you have the AI system implemented, the clients are going to get really fast results. Why? Because every client that you have working with, if they're not brand new, they already have some leads sitting dormant and they're just not, nobody's calling them. They're just sitting there. So the best thing you could possibly do is grab all their leads and do a reactivation campaign using the AI. So the implementation is within 7 days, and then we can get them leads within the first 7 days. No other service provider is able to offer them that. 100%. So that way, you don't have to deal with any of that. If you don't understand AI, that's fine. I've left the link in the description down below. Trust me, we've spent multiple six figures trying to figure this out. It is not as easy as just, making it sound good on the phone. There's so many different moving parts to this game, and that's why a lot of people haven't cracked the code yet, and we have. So if you're interested, if you want to demo it, please use the first link in the description down below. You can schedule a call. You can find out how it works. I'm going to show you. I guarantee you I'm going to blow your mind. But hey, hope this video was of value to you. I wish there was somebody, talking about this when I was starting my agency, or when I was looking to, when I was running it, when I was looking to scale it, whatever. But that's what I'm doing now, for anybody that's starting or scaling their agency. And I hope this was of value. If you have any ideas or anything that you want me to make a video on, put it down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one.